Hey everyone, welcome back to my July portfolio update. When I posted my last update, it honestly felt like the markets were on edge. But luckily, not long after, the US dropped its bunker buster bombs on Iran's nuclear facilities. Oil spiked, equities dipped, and there was a brief sense of panic. But since then, things have started to de-escalate and markets have largely stabilized. In fact, there have been many new all-time highs, including the S&P 500. It ended up being a classic case of fear presenting opportunity. And as Warren Buffett says, be greedy when others are fearful. And I've been born exactly that. Buying steadily through June and into July, continuing to build positions where I see long-term value. My first theme is clean energy and tech. I'm buying Enphase and Autoscale. Both sit in clean energy bucket, although admittedly the macro backdrop has become more complex. The latest US budget, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, actually walks back some of the clean energy incentives. But in Europe, Ørsted's recent US offshore approvals and new funding stability are helping restore confidence. The stocks recovered a bit already, but I think this is just the start of a longer trend. Enphase is still trading near multi-year lows, but insiders are now buying, institutions are holding, and the core business remains strong. So this is a long-term bet for me. My next thing is health and biotech, one I really like. In healthcare, I've added to Teladoc. It's been hammered over the past 2 years, but sentiment is starting to shift. Their new partnerships offering weight loss treatments tie in with one of the biggest themes in medicine right now. I'm also buying Novo Nordisk. It remains one of my highest conviction names in this space. They've just launched Wegovy in India, and the GLP-1 market continues to expand globally. I think the recent pullback is an opportunity. The Lumen is another one that I bagged. The European antitrust situation is behind them now, and they're refocusing on DNA sequencing. The chart is starting to base out after a long downtrend. Pfizer is also back on my radar. It's not a sexy one, but the valuation is cheap, and I think they're turning the corner. They've been cutting costs and redirecting focus now that COVID revenues have faded. Another theme I'm looking at is industrial innovation. And Cognex fits nicely into my long-term automation thesis. Insiders have also been buying this one. The company is also cutting costs, and they've resumed share buybacks. The stock has pulled back to what I think is now a strong support area. And my final theme is consumer and brands. Nike has had a really tough run lately, especially with weak China sales, but it's still a best-in-class global brand, and I'm using this weakness to build a position, and this is one I'm really happy to hold long-term. So finally, what I've sold. I've just sold a little bit of my Nokia stock. It had a great run earlier this year, and actually for the past few years, but I'm starting to see some technical weakness now, so I've decided just to lock in a little bit of those gains whilst it's still trading near all-time highs. Recent highs. My closing thoughts. So despite the headlines, from geopolitical tensions to Fed rate uncertainty, I'm staying focused on what I can control. Jerome Powell's tone remains cautious, but the direction is slowly shifting towards easing. So that, combined with a few well-timed entries, made June another month of steady gains, and I expect the same progress in July. I'm always buying high-quality names when they're out of favor and holding for the long term. Let me know what you're watching, and I'll catch you in August.